guys? We're back with episode 4. I can't believe we made it this far, to be honest. But we're here. My name's Shaquille, and
by now you already know my name is Ifad.
And
So what are we talking about, Shaquille?
Honestly, man, let's just catch up with each other, because I feel like on a weekly basis we only really meet up for this podcast. So, how was your day, bro?
It's been nice. It would be nice if you asked how I was doing within the week.
Damn,
it's been like
all
what
right.
now? 10 days.
It has not been.
It's been
10
like
days.
10 days since we last met and actually spoke about something.
Okay, all right, my bad.
It's all good.
Wait, when did we record? We recorded last Monday, right?
Yeah, we recorded like 10 days ago now.
All right, I mean, we text, I guess, right?
I mean, the affection is shown face to face, right?
All right, how was your day, man?
It was good. School opened up. College. It's been stressful. Any test?
I mean, it's like the school opened up like 2 weeks ago, so
yeah,
it's been kind of chilled so far. I mean, we have assignments. Like I had a paper, which I actually finished yesterday instead of the day before. So I think I'm proud of myself for that.
Old habits kicking in, huh? Shaquille used to actually finish his homework right on the spot in elementary school.
Bro, that was like, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but he used to just do it as soon as he got the homework.
Yeah, it didn't. That habit didn't.
Sometimes in class, actually, he should just do his homework. I'm like, dude, you have the whole day.
Okay, so a funny story. I remember this one time. It was either 4th or 5th grade, and she was going around checking for the homework. I didn't do it. I knew for a fact I didn't do it.
Who, Miss Muhammad?
I forget which grade it was, but anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So she was going around checking for the homework, and I knew I didn't do it, but I told her, hey, I can't find it. Can I go in my bag in the back? Because when you enter the room, we would put the bags like in the closet.
Side closet.
Yeah, in the closet. So I was like, can I just check in my bag, because I can't really find it in my books. So I literally spent the whole period pretending to look for the homework in the book bag, and me not realizing that she knows that you don't have it.
And she never came around asking you where it was?
Bro, she knew. Like, obviously she knew. She didn't give me credit for that homework. Like, it was obvious.
I would just go to the bathroom if that happened.
I think I did that once. Another time, actually, in like middle school. In middle school, I think it was like 6th or 7th grade. It was like I didn't do like a project for a class later on in the day, and I went to the nurse's office. I raised my hand. I was like, my stomach hurts or something like that. And I went to the nurse's office, and I was like, she checked my temperature. It was like fine, and like everything seemed fine. But I was like, no, my stomach like really hurts. And then she was like, okay, I guess we need to call your parents. So I called my dad, and this wasn't like a zone middle school. I went to middle school 45 minutes out of the way in Far Rockaway, and I live in Ozone Park. So, bro, my poor dad, he like literally answered the phone at and he works kind of late, like until like 2 a.m. So he wakes up pretty late too. So it was like 11 or maybe 12. And he just woke up, and he's like, yo, what's good? Like, he's just like confused, like why I'm calling from the nurse's office in middle school. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like sick. Can you pick me up?
Stupid lies sometimes.
And then like pretty much I was just waiting in the nurse's office for him to pick me up. I feel really bad. Like,
it's all good. I did some stuff like that too, but I didn't call anyone. I would just
it's just like when you're like 12 or 13 or like even 11, you're just like, you think all these assignments matter so much,
but they don't.
And they don't
really.
They don't. Like, if you're late by a day, it's not that big of a deal.
If only somebody told us like none of that would matter, back then.
I mean, it's kind of good in a sense that like we took everything seriously, but life still goes on.
Yeah,
anyway.
The friendship is still here. That's all that matters, right?
Thank you for that. Really poor segue to the topic, but
you got a better one.
So, well, in the beginning of the episode, you accused me of being a bad friend. So
I mean, nowadays I tend to be honest with people in my life.
You think I'm a bad friend?
No, you're not a bad friend. You're trying, but I think we could both be better friends towards each other. Because right now I feel like we're just business partners. Like, this is not really a business, but I feel like we should get more towards the friendship part. But yeah,
I mean, I'd say we're on pretty good terms.
Yeah, we're pretty good for now.
Pod's joking around, guys. We're pretty good. But anyway,
yeah, go ahead.
Let's kind of define what a bad friend is, right? Because I think about this like a lot of the time, like what I constitute as a friend, and that's pretty different from like what others would constitute as a friend. And sometimes you think of like associates, and I'm like, yeah, so me and like Well, we actually have a live studio audience today.
We have some friends here and in the
yeah,
room.
so there's two of them. One of them is named Rashidul. We call him Rosh, and so me and Rosh have this ongoing joke where like brown boys, they tend to like, you know, whenever they like barely know someone, they're like, "Yo, that's my boy." When like really they literally just dap each other up like once in the hallway or something. So you know, like, is that really your friend? Heck no. Like,
No, I mean, you barely even know him. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. But you know, you're calling him your boy, or like, oh, it's my friend, it's my buddy, you know, whatever.
You know, I feel like sometimes my friends who are actually my friends, the people wouldn't even know they're my friends because I never bring them up as friends. We just have casual conversation. And the people who are not my friends, I'm like, yeah, he's my boy, he's my boy, he's my best friend. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, people who are actually my friends, they have no labels. Like,
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm seeing like this gradual, like trend, especially like for high school and college kids, where I think they call people their best friends way too easily.
Too easily.
Like,
yeah,
like, bro, you knew them like for 6 months to even a year. I'm like, is that really enough to label them as a best friend?
I mean, sometimes time isn't always key to measure friendships, because some of my friends that I met like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I connect more with them for people that I have known for my entire life. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna name someone, but I actually have a friend who claims he supports me, but he has yet to watch one episode of my podcast.
You know, that's funny.
But I've known him for 7 years now.
You know, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm dead gonna put you on the spot. Rashidul in the back. You actually watched. Well, I showed you the third episode today, so you watched one episode out of 3. That's okay. But before this, you didn't watch one episode. So, you know, let's.
I mean, things happen.
No, I understand. He was actually in Bangladesh for a good month, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole topic.
The audience is making him laugh.
This is the goofiest episode so far, but anyway, I was mentioning the point of.
You said what a bad friend is.
Yeah, pretty much. I think people are too quick to give the label of, you know, closest or intimacy to someone, or the, like, they think, oh, this guy's like my ride or die, you know, best friend, when in actuality, like, how much has he actually sacrificed for you, or how much has she like done for you on, you know, a consistent basis, or maybe like how many times has she or he actually been there for you, you know?
But like, majority of the friendships you see nowadays are through words rather than actions. Like, he'll hype you up like he's the best guy I know, he's the best, but how much of those friends are actually acting on you? Do you get what I'm saying?
Like, a lot of it, it might sound like we're being cynical, but it's very true, where a lot of things is just talk, you know? Like, a person can say like, yo, I'll be there for you on a consistent basis, like when you're like, you know, in a tough spot, I'll be there for you, right? But it's very hard for someone to actually go out of their way to sacrifice their time, or, you know, whatever, and you know, just actually be there, like physically be there, and get you through that situation.
I mean, I have a story if you don't mind me sharing.
Yeah, go for it.
I was in my first semester of college, and I met this guy. He was very nice to me. He was 2 semesters ahead of me, and he would like all my photos, like all my videos that I would upload. He would support me, like quote unquote support me. But so we had this finals for the math department.
Wait, what class?
Math. Yeah, calculus.
Math.
Yeah, calculus. Calculus.
Okay.
So, and I was like, you know, the math test is next week, right? Mm-hmm. So we were designated to a room, and the teacher decided to change the room the last minute, right? So I was very worried because I never got the message from the teacher. So right. I texted him the previous day. I'm like, yo, bro, apparently our math class changed for the test. What's the room number? 24 hours later, still no reply from him.
Damn.
And then on the day of the test, I was on the campus looking around where the test room was. I even went to the math department's, you know, main room and asked, where's
How long were you like looking?
For over an hour. And that hour cost me the whole exam, because I actually found it. And the teacher was like, Ifad, you're late to the exam. Oof. I was on the verge of failing that class, and I saw him there taking the test. He didn't even look up to me.
That's
so
fine.
That's what you call friendships. You know, people you expect to look after you, but on the day of, they're nowhere to be seen. So I felt pretty bad.
So you failed that class?
I was going to fail the class, but the teacher really knew me a lot. And she's like, you know, I think you're a very studious, hardworking student. So I'll make a test day for you. Just show up. And I took a private exam with her, you know? So she was very,
So she like let you slide pretty much.
Yeah.
Damn, you got lucky,
That was
bro.
bro.
That's amazing. Yeah. So that's a clear-cut example of like someone literally you know, just being all talk.
Just much. Like liking my photos and telling me that I'm doing good in life isn't enough, you know? Actually show the support. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I don't want to be. I don't want this to just be like examples of continuously like bad relationships.
There are good relationships.
Like
Yeah.
we have plenty of good influences in
Yeah.
our life right now. Like for example, like with this podcast, you know, like we both have really good people in our lives that are continuously watching, or maybe even like watching one episode, but they'll watch all throughout, like the whole duration, and they'll pick out like 20 things to comment on, just because they're like know us and they think they have that, they think they have that, liberty to comment on such a hard stance.
But it helped us get this far.
Exactly. Like it's helping us grow.
Yeah,
and
it's helping us grow. Yeah,
improve.
Like on the first episode, I couldn't even talk properly. You know, I was too shy to say my point. And someone even said, "Yo, bro, get more of your thoughts out. Get more of your thoughts out." Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm talking more. So I'm happy. You know.
That's a great point. And like, it's one thing to, not even like watch like an eighth of the episode, and then you're just gonna like comment on it. Like that's kind of like, I'll take your criticism obviously, but then I'm like, bro, you didn't watch like 10 minutes of it. Like, what if like
it gets better?
What if it got better?
It got better,
like,
right?
What if we changed up some things and that critique is not relevant anymore later on in the episode? So I really do appreciate it. Like, be harsh as much as you want. Like, honestly, if we have that kind of friendship relationship, that's all good.
Because they know you.
You can be as harsh as you want.
Yeah.
But as long as I know that you're watching like every single second of it, or you're like actually supporting this venture that we both are collaborating on, and that's amazing, because I know that your intent is to, try to make me better. And there's actually someone in the back like controlling the camera that does this stupid crap of commenting on literally every single second. But that's okay.
No, but I think he's very helpful.
Smiling right now.
I think he's very helpful. I think because of him, we have a snowball effect for our podcast, where it started off as a small snowball, but it's getting bigger and bigger as we're getting better content out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I really do believe that we're improving like exponentially.
Like you can just feel it.
Also, like our production has gotten better, where the audio is like there's no problems anymore with it.
Yeah.
We're doing like a lot of fail safes beforehand, where we're making sure that every equipment works. So like,
I remember when we had that conversation where we said, do you want to script this? And you said, no, I don't think we should script this. And I said, yeah, let's not script any of this.
I was actually considering scripting.
Yeah, but I don't think we should,
So the problem before was that I had no idea how to, what was I going to talk about pretty much. So I was like, let's kind of script this whole thing. And it's kind of like a behind the scenes. But pretty much before every episode, I have like points that I want to mention.
Like outlines, yeah.
And like some of the time I don't get through half of these points because the conversation is like pretty, it's pretty natural on its own. How do we get here?
I don't know. I mean, that's what a conversation is. You get into so many
idea.
segues. But yeah.
Yeah, so
do you have any examples of like friendships, like good or bad?
Yeah, so the podcast thing, like we have like a ton of good friends that have been giving us like input about it. Another example is the first thing that comes to mind is like a friend of mine, like he knew I wanted this book for a really long while, and there was this like speaker, an Islamic scholar. He was coming here for a conference, right? And this guy is someone that I've been looking up to for like a good year or so, and he had a book that got released like recently, and so I really wanted to go to that conference, but he was just I had it during work, like it was over the weekend, so I couldn't attend like whatsoever. And this friend of mine, he was in attendance, and like out of nowhere, like he pulls up one day, because we were just hanging out that day, and he pulls up and he's like, yo, look what I got you. And he got me that specific book from that speaker.
Oh wow.
And literally on the front cover it had something like Shaquille, I know you wanted to really be here, but it was a really good message. Like it really touched my heart, because he didn't tell me that he was getting this. He literally just surprised me with it.
It was a surprise.
It was a really good, it was really good.
I mean, that's a example of unconditional love.
If you guys want the book, it's by Sheikh Mikael Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the title right now, but With the Heart in Mind. That was it. With the Heart in Mind. It's about like prophetic emotional intelligence. It's a really good book. I only started like recently, but it's really good so far.
Yeah, we can put a link in the description, to the book.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you want to give him that from, no, we will, inshallah. Yeah, so that's a good example of like friends just going out of their way to do things, and it really touches my heart when people like small things like that. Like it's not
Just
even, it's not even a real small thing, but things like that. It just like things you don't expect fully. That it really warms my heart.
How about toxic friendships? I know we said bad, but I don't think toxic and bad are interchangeable. There's a difference. How about toxic friendships? Do you think they exist? And if so,
Well,
an
toxic
example?
friendships. What do you define as toxic friendships?
I mean, toxic is when it feels like it's healthy to you. You think behaviors from a certain person is healthy, like making these jokes that over time makes you feel insecure. You think they're healthy, but then you realize, hey, this has been toxic the whole time. This guy, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm laughing because both of these goofs are laughing.
So you might have some toxic friendships.
Yeah, and an ongoing joke.
Yeah, we
is
might
that,
have some toxic friendships. Then.
An ongoing joke is that
Okay.
they're toxic.
So, so if you experience any toxic relationships with friends, so-called friends, sometimes it's healthy, but toxic, the word toxic, I think is being thrown around too much.
That's true.
Yeah.
I hear it a lot these days.
Yeah,
now.
it's being thrown around too much. There's true toxicity to some friendships. Do you have any experience with that?
I don't think I do, but a lot of people I know have, and it's I know what you mean by toxic.
Like they'll crack jokes.
Like I guess the difference between a toxic friendship and a bad friendship is like you're not sure, you don't directly know yet.
Yeah.
If the toxic friendship is a bad friendship because it's in the guise of like something that or someone that is trying to look out for you.
Sometimes you could be with that friend for like 10 years and you still don't realize it's toxic.
That's I mean
Yeah,
I don't know of any like case where it's
it happened to
well,
me, but it has happened.
Damn, my bad.
Yeah.
So like toxic friendships, it's so by your definition, it's pretty much like someone that is like putting on a facade of like I want to look out for you, right?
Yeah, you think they're your friend, but they're not there for your best interest. You know what I'm saying? They're usually there to fulfill their best interest. You know?
Or maybe it's just like they want you around for the sake of being around. Right?
Exactly.
There's this Netflix show called You, and there's a lot of it's getting like
it's a really good show.
Yeah, it's really popular right now.
I watched it. Yeah,
I watched the first season of it. I didn't get to watch the second season, but in it there's this well, the whole premise of the show is that there's this guy who likes this girl and they get into a relationship, but the guy is like a scheming maniacal genius
sociopath. He's a sociopath.
Yeah, he's a sociopath.
Yeah,
and he's like low-key kind of psychotic because he does all of these things to try to make this girl's life better and to try to make the relationship better.
Yeah,
like he stalks her, he goes through her files, like he harms people in her life that he deems to be toxic, I guess, right? So one example is this girl that she's spoiler alert, by the way. So there's this girl that she's best friends with, and she's been with her since her college days, and pretty much the main character, he finds out that she is in love with him, right? I'm in love with her, right? And she does a lot of manipulative things, such as
you're talking about Peach, right?
Yeah,
that's her name. Peach.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched the whole show. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Peach. Yeah. So she is in love with the main girl, right? And she pretty much uses all these manipulative tactics, such as always putting down her to put her confidence down and think that she needs to keep her this person in her life,
to
right?
keep her one step below.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's things like that where I guess would define a toxic relationship, where that person is literally trying to make you feel that you need them in your life, and it's like very hard to let go of.
I mean, what Peach did something interesting, which many of us go through, is Peach told her, "Don't publish your book. No one's gonna read it." So yeah, by the end of the show, on You, her book was published and it became an actual great seller. But her friend Peach, while she was alive, spoiler again, she never published the book. Okay. So her friend was holding her.
Yeah. So it basically got published after she already died.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. My bad. If you didn't see the warning and kept on this episode, but we warned you. Anyway, I guess that's like a good example of like, your friends like really just dragging you down. I think there was this quote where, actually I have it written down. It was a quote that's like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with, right? And in You, she spent most of her time with this group of friends that only really partied every night. They didn't really have any ambitions, and her best friend, she was the closest person to her, and she was the one that was dragging her down.
Dragging her down, exactly.
Right. So if you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of the time with, like it can have like a very good impact on you, or you're gonna have a very detriment impact on your overall quality of life. There was also a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ that said, a person is on the religion of his companions, therefore let every one of you carefully consider the company he keeps. And this was narrated in Sahih Tirmidhi, or Tirmidhi, and pretty much it's like this is trying to say that obviously it's in the context of religion, but this is basically saying that the way of life, because in Arabic it was most likely deen, and deen is way of life. So it's pretty much saying that the way of life that your companion is on, it's gonna have a very big impact on you. Of course,
definitely.
So even if you're not a religious person, you can take a lot from this. Like, let's say you have friends that are pushing you to negative things such as
smoking, drinking,
drinking, drugs, or
peer pressure.
Exactly, or not even like these hardcore substances. It can just be like, pushing you to a lazy kind of lifestyle. Like, let's say, dreams that you have, like a podcast or a film.
Let's talk about podcasts. Like, what if our friends told us, guys, don't do this podcast. Like, it won't take off.
Honestly, that was like a big like mental block that I had to get through. I was like, okay, if I do this, because I'm not a very public person. Like, all my accounts are private. I'm not really trying to show much of my life to to everyone. So it took a lot for me to like get this out, and I'm sure it's for you too, because you're not like a completely public person either. Like, of course you have like films here and there, but it took you a really long time to get in front of the camera, right?
Judgments, you always fear judgments from people, but the people that actually care about you, the 5 people that you're talking about, they'll tell you, go ahead, just push it through, do what you want that makes you happy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And always that's where the caveat of like, they'll let you know if you're going in a bad direction, and that's kind of like, you need to find the balance of like advising someone for the sake of like, oh, I want the best for them, and also just like like putting them down, because that's kind of like with the girl from the show we were talking about, that's what she was doing. And it's like, you need to find people in your life that will give you that good motivation to continue on.
Sometimes you get inspired from your friends too. Sometimes a lot of the reason I even became a videographer sometimes is because of friends that I had in the past. They're like, yo, Ifad, you should look at this video. Because look at me. I'm a guy who fixes computers, but then I also do videography. They're like 2 polar shifts. Yeah. So your next question is, where did you figure this out? I had friends that were videographers, photographers. They're like, yo, you should actually try this. Since you're so good with technology, you should, get on this. Mm-hmm. So people inspired me, and they're my friends. So I'm pretty sure people have inspired you. They're your friends,
No, exactly. And like throughout this episode, we've been talking about like, different types of experiences we've had in life. Like, obviously, like, the bad experience with like your final and like
final exam,
you almost flunking that class, dude.
Yeah,
that would have been,
because I counted on one person.
That would have been really bad.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been terrible.
So this also just goes to show like, when you really like need someone, that's when their moment to shine really goes through. Like, that's when you really can be a judge of like, hey, do I really want them in my life? Like, is this really a good person to have around? And that's really when that judgment is put into place,
But sometimes we can also be a better friend too. We can't just expect others to be good friends.
Right.
I don't want to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I think we should also strive to be good friends. Sometimes, like, my whole segue was, I need a better friend. I need this good friends. I had bad friends. But sometimes I question if I'm a good friend. Right. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Am I looking out for my friend?
Right.
I try my best to look out for you. Hopefully, it has helped.
No, it has. Yeah.
But you got to be a good person too.
You said I was a business partner.
Earlier in the episode, if we can work with the business partners, we can be friends for life. But yeah, like I said, sometimes we got to be a good friend
joking,
too.
By the way, we're amazing.
Yeah, I was joking, of course. Yeah, we are. But we got to be a good friend sometimes too, Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes I'm very happy that you come to me. You're like, yo, bro, let's pray Maghrib or let's pray Esha. You're helping me spiritually if I forget. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's beneficial.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And also just like, okay, so that is an example, like spiritually, materially, and in a lot of aspects of life, you need to like go out of your way to kind of be that person for others as well. You can't just be like dependent on someone solely, and then they can't really derive any benefit from you as well. Like for your example, I learned a lot about like all this video editing stuff that I have no idea what the hell to do. Like the audio, like bro, like I have to press a button, but literally the first episode I was having so much trouble with just that.
Yeah, we had so much issues. Yeah.
Like the whole mic input, and I was just like what's going on. And I think like for the first take of like the first couple episodes, like we were talking for a good 10 to 20 minutes,
but our audio wouldn't work.
And then I would realize, oh snap.
And some friends questioned our equipment. They were like, bro, did you get the right equipment?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly, but that was my fault.
I mean, it happens. Yeah, it happens. So
yeah. So it's like things like that. Like you're supposed to be kind of not codependent, but you should be, give and take in a relationship. It's not just supposed to be one-sided where a person is like solely only taking from you,
And it shouldn't feel like a give and take too, because I have a friend that tells me like, yo bro, I owe you this much, I owe you this much.
Right.
If I'm paying for your food, I don't expect you to pay me back. That's what friendship is about. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but last week,
yeah,
my food, and you won't give me your damn quick pay.
It's fine. Do you get what I'm saying? I know down the line you'll help me some other way if it's not financial. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be financial help. So I don't think you always should expect a give and take. You owe me something, I owe you something.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, that's a really good point, and I feel like this is kind of a good point to end off. We should always, kind of try.
Oh, what happened?
My mic fell off.
Sorry about that.
Close off.
We just have to close off a little bit because Shaquille's technical difficulties.
Okay.
Hopefully, this was a
Hold up,
good conversation.
Hold up. Is that recording?
Did it stop recording?
No, you're still going.
Okay, I can still talk. I'll just cut this part off.
All right.
Hopefully the conversation was beneficial, guys. This was actually a good podcast to work on because it's something I relate to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Friendships, I have my friends around me, so
yeah. And I think we're like kind of changing up our style like every episode. Last week was a bit more structured.
I mean, we changed our seats.
Yeah, we changed our seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you know why this man has been hogging
don't
this
worry.
side?
Don't worry.
All right, we'll save that for a different episode.
I'll give a different reason for that. Yeah.
we'll save that for a different episode. But we're like the last episode. It was a bit more structured, and now it's kind of like a hybrid of like like me having my points on the screen, and then like we're kind of just having a natural conversation.
Of course.
So like we hope you guys tune in every week. We hope you guys stick with us through our journey of improving, changing things up.
And guys, if you like our videos, subscribe to us.
Subscribe,
it helps.
like,
it really does
share,
help.
comment.
It does help.
All the things YouTubers say. And with that, have a great day. Have a great day, guys.
He said, "Daggy."